everybody. Welcome to the Gapology Guys podcast. Have you ever thought about how complex your organization is? Or how creating methods for simplicity might actually improve your team's execution and overall performance? Well, we've got a great episode for you tonight. Mark and I will be discussing how shifting your perspective to tap into your organizational purpose might provide a clear guide to simplify everything that you do to deliver on your highest, most important objectives. So let's go ahead and get the show rolling with Mark Tinas. Hey Mark, how are you doing?
Good, Brian. How are you?
I'm good. It's another podcast night.
Enjoy them.
Tuesday.
We should do it every night.
We should. Yeah, we're doing it every other week now. In between, we're doing these little YouTube shorts, these little short messages on the same topic. We're going to try to align it with the same topic as the podcast, just so that
I love those shorts, by the way.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you like them.
You really do an exceptional job. So,
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, the goal really is to tap into different learning styles. Some people just want a quick, short message and then move on with their day. And some people like a little bit more conversation, some deeper learning and so forth. So we have the podcast for that. So we're trying to provide, what our viewers want. So as best we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited about this week. We're going to talk about, really two interconnected pieces. We're going to talk about simplicity, which was initially, I was thinking about, we haven't really talked a lot about simplicity. I think we need to touch on that. It is a segment in our book. But at the same time, when I sent it to Mark, he talked about purpose and how purpose is so important when you're looking at simplicity. And I thought that was such an interesting topic and a way to sort of align these two elements. And, we do have our revised, updated 15th anniversary edition of Gapology coming out here, actually just in a couple of weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, the 15th of October is the target date. So for our viewers, our listeners, put that on your calendar, circle it on your calendar. You should be able to hop on Amazon.com and order it there on the 15th of October. It's expanded. We've added couple hundred extra pages to it, lots of new learnings and so forth. And next week, we're going to devote the entire podcast to just the topic of the new book and some of the new revised sections and so forth. So
I got my copy in the mail. I was so excited.
Yeah. Is that the copy? No, you still have the 5th anniversary behind you.
Yeah.
So it's sneak peek.
I only have the one,
Yeah.
but I got the first copy and it was like, wow. Oh, that's the new one.
This is the new one. So sneak peek.
And at the bottom.
Yeah. So if you're ordering, we didn't
want to change the look too much, but
yeah, we wanted to keep the brand the same. But I don't want to give away too much. But just to let everybody know.
Week, but in mind, thank you very much, and thank you to Universal Publishing for getting it done. The quality of the book, it's the one we got as a paperback is phenomenal.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic. Yeah, they did a great job with it. So, but yeah, we're excited for it, and we'll give everybody more details on all the changes and so forth next week. So actually, I guess 2 weeks from now. So stay tuned for that. We'll get that put together for everybody so you can get all fired up for it.
Yeah.
So, all right. So do you want to jump into tonight's topic, Mark? So we're going to talk about simplicity with purpose.
Yeah, so simplicity is something everyone in an organization needs to think about, especially with new rollouts, new projects, new processes, etc. And the opposite of simplicity is complexity. And complexity can prevent great execution. And complexity can create a knowledge gap in your team, an importance gap in your team, and therefore an action gap. So complexity maybe behind the scenes works, but up front it does not. And simplicity for your team and for your customers, residents, guests, whatever, needs to be the goal. So think about it in those terms. Complexity can create significant gaps. And I'll give you one quick example. So Brian and I worked with an organization, and they brought us there to do Gapology to the entire team. And when we got there, they had 45 key performance indicators for the team. 45. So we quickly, by applying Gapology, narrowed that to 5 significant metrics that mattered. 5 KPIs versus 45. Guess what happened, Brian? I know you know the answer.
It improved everything.
The business exploded.
Yeah.
The team performance exploded. 5 things really mattered. The 45 became complex. Simplicity was lost. Which ones do I focus on? Can I just choose which ones I'm going to be good at? When you narrow it to 5, and we recommend 3 to 5, by the way, but when you narrow it to 5, it becomes very clear what matters. And from there, the business exploded and still exploding today. I wish I could name the name, but business is great because of simplicity, Brian. So thank you for bringing that to us today.
Yeah. Yeah. I wrote down a couple of things as you were talking there that I think is pretty significant. When you think about, well, one of the things I talked about in the short that we already recorded is that complexity kills execution. When you have too many of those KPIs, those key performance indicators that you talked about, people can kind of hide in that complexity, especially underperformers. Underperformers can really hide in complexity. And the other thing is, I think for your sort of your middle performers, your B players and your A players, I think complexity invites chaos. When you have too much that everybody's trying to focus on, nobody's really focusing on the things that matter most. So simplicity really is the key to everything here.
Yeah, simplicity closes gaps. But the other great thing is it prevents gaps before they happen.
Yep. Right.
So simplicity should be one of the expectations of any new rollout, new organization, new long-term organization with a new process being rolled out. Simplicity for the customer, for the team, is of great significance. And it truly does prevent gaps from happening. So one of the expectations of a new process should be simplicity. It may be complex behind the scenes. The team doesn't need to see that. It is, when it's executed, simple. And then I know we're going to shift gears here and talk about purpose, and I'll let you open that up. But when you can align the expectations and create the simplicity by aligning everything with your purpose, it brings it all together. And that's really what we want to talk about tonight. But avoid complexity. It's not good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think there is a lot of benefits to simplicity. Certainly preventing gaps is the key thing here. It really helps to align energy, align the team under, a key, focus, your purpose and stuff, which we'll talk about. It helps to increase accountability. It drives faster execution on things. It creates stronger engagement in the team. And I think it overall, it just delivers much more consistent results. So I think there are a lot of benefits for taking time, blocking time in your schedule, into your leadership rhythm to create simplicity in your team. And if you look at some of the highly successful companies out there, simplicity was really key. Apple certainly comes to mind. But I was thinking about Chipotle. It's like when Chipotle came out, I thought one of the biggest benefits that they had was their simplicity. You walk in, you select a protein, you select the rice you want, you select the whatever, and it's like they had a burrito, a taco, and it was like 3 things. It was so simple. And then you go into a place like, what's that Cheesecake Factory that has like 50,000 things on their menu. Like I go in there, I never know what to order. But I think there's an opportunity there for every company to sort of take a step back and just examine, what is their level of simplicity.
Well, on any new rollout, shoot for simplicity
Mm-hmm.
for the people that are going to then execute that process,
Right.
and for the customer that's going to experience it. It really does work.
Right.
But then when you align your process with the purpose, everything changes, and it really can work. I I eat at Chick-fil-A once a week, I think. And why do you think, Brian, that they have taught every single person that I've ever interacted with there on thousands of visits to say my pleasure?
Mm-hmm.
Why would they do that?
Yeah. It's simple.
Why?
Simple. They only have to remember one thing.
It's simple, but it also reinforces their purpose.
Yeah.
They want you to know that it's their pleasure to serve you. They want you to feel like it's a pleasure to be there. It's simple, easy to execute, but it also aligns with the purpose. It's brilliant. So what happens when you go to McDonald's? Every person says something different. So they've determined that's how they want to be. I don't know. I mean, I just feel good every time, and I literally mean it's never been missed. When I pay the cashier, whoever that is, when I get my order at the window, I generally drive through. They always say my pleasure, and it's just a feel good as well. So well done, brilliant, and a simple process that aligns with the purpose. Think about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What if every organization thought about that as being of great significance? And I haven't followed Chick-fil-A recently on their performance, but it just appears to be off the charts. They just are opening a new one near my home here, and I go to one near my office. And anyhow,
Mm-hmm.
my pleasure works.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
works.
It's part of their brand. Part of their brand. It's what they're known for. You ask anybody, what do they say? Everybody knows it's ever been there. So let's look at some tips. So what are some things that leaders out there that are watching or listening, what are some things that they can do to roll purpose and simplicity together?
Yeah. So align your all of your actions with the purpose. So the simplicity should be aligned with the purpose. So everything that's rolled out aligns with the purpose. And we find many organizations don't have a purpose, or they don't consider the purpose when they roll out a new process. Any new process must align with the purpose of the organization. And any new process needs to have simplicity as an objective. When that happens, everything works downstream from there. It's really significant. So, and the other thing we've seen in great organizations is they also align every role, regardless of what you do in the organization, with the purpose. So for your role, your execution of the purpose looks like this, and the measures are this. And that really works. So when everyone in an organization is aligned with the purpose and understands how their role matters, it makes their role important. If you're the cashier, you're important. If you're the president of the company, you're important. It all aligns. That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's interesting when you look at simplicity, trying to create a streamlined, simple approach to the things that you're doing. When people understand the why behind it, that really, I think, simplifies everything. When they understand how their role is connected to and how it delivers the purpose, I think it just takes out a lot of the hard work that leaders oftentimes have to deal with. you can tell somebody what to do, and as long as you explain how it's going to deliver the purpose and how their role's important in that, it takes it out of the mind and puts it in the heart, and then people really want to actually deliver on those things.
Yeah, when we were doing our Gapology research, we found that the top performers by far had clear connection to the metrics that equaled the purpose that they had defined. So
Mm,
they had determined which metrics mattered most. They then had not only defined the metrics, but they defined the behaviors that equaled those metrics. So for every metric, you've got this number. What are the behaviors that equal that? Give us three behaviors that equal that, and then do it by role. It all comes together when you do that. So a purpose with metrics that equal the purpose and the behaviors that equal that, it all comes together. And you want to talk about simplicity, you then have defined simplicity by role.
yeah,
It's amazing.
right.
And that works. And most organizations have not fully considered that. And it is a significant uh, game change in terms of results and performance overall. And from a gapology standpoint, it closes gaps like crazy.
Hmm. Yeah, so I'd like you to touch a little bit on. So if you're not the highest level of an organization, if you don't have the title to say, all right, let's create our organizational purpose. Let's all come together and do this. If you're a mid-level manager or new manager, how would you go about creating an organizational purpose for the team that you lead?
Yeah, so I would define the metrics that matter most and communicate those to my team. I wouldn't be burdened by the organization. I would assume that my role is to lead the organization forward. So I would define those metrics. I would then define those behaviors, and then I would exceed everyone in results, and then let the organization know what I'm doing to help move the organization forward. And by the way, you and I have done that.
Yeah,
It really works.
yeah,
It
yeah.
really
No,
works.
yeah.
We
I
were
think
we
it's
were sitting one night. Brian and I were sitting with the person we didn't know who had just bought our company. He just purchased the company for millions and millions of dollars. And I'm sitting next to him just by chance. I didn't even know who he was. And someone turned to him and asked him, "Why did you buy this billion-dollar company?" And he said, "Oh, because of this, this, and this." Well, this, and this were things that we had come up with and rolled chain wide as simplicity, as the behaviors we needed and the metrics we needed. I didn't take credit for it at the table. I should have, but that's why he bought the company. Think about that.
yeah,
And we were able to leverage those chain wide. It wasn't like we operated in isolation and didn't share them. We shared everything. We shared crazy things. We shared crazy with carts.
I love
Crazy
that.
with carts.
Yeah,
Now that sounds stupid as,
yeah,
you got to be kidding me, right?
yeah.
No. We found that the customer that had a cart bought 50% more than the customer without. So we figured out how to increase cart usage. And oh, wow, that worked.
Yeah,
Numbers went through the ceiling.
that was one of my favorite things that we did. That was so great.
That wasn't the one he was talking about. He didn't know about that one,
Yeah,
but the guy that bought the company. But
right.
we shared everything that we did so that the organization moved forward in total. We didn't care that we were number one in results. We shared everything,
Hmm.
and everything we did was simple. Crazy with carts was simple. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, such a no brainer. But
It had five standards that you had to achieve, or three,
yeah,
and it was so simple. We did it
hmm,
all day long, and it worked like crazy.
yeah,
We
yeah,
should have called it crazy,
yeah,
but we did.
yeah. We did. All right. So so for new leaders, mid-level leaders, figure it out for your work team and set the standard for the rest of the organization. Be that model. So what would you say would be number two? What's the second step that we would do here?
Well, keep a narrow focus. Keep a narrow focus. I talked earlier about the 45 KPIs. That's not helpful. That allows the team to be confused or to choose the metrics they're going to win in. What are the top three? What are the top five? Go after those. Keep it simple. Narrow the focus. Narrow, therefore, the behaviors that equal that, and keep it aligned with the purpose. A narrowly focused team can win at a level far beyond the complexity of a team that's focused on, a million things. It doesn't work. Narrow the focus. And as a leader, you have that capability. If you're confusing, if your behavior changes every day, if you're not narrowly focused, that throws the team off.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that. Be narrowly focused.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting as a trainer. I'm a trainer by trade. What I've seen this so many times when I'm leading a classroom of people or I'm leading a workshop, Gapology workshop, and I give instructions to the team and I'm not clear where step one, do this, step two, do this, step three, do this. If I'm not clear, every single time chaos erupts. Everybody starts talking amongst each other. They're asking each other the questions, and I can see it instantly. And I have to say, all right, time out. I wasn't clear there. Step one, do this. Step two, do this. Step three. And with that simplicity, that creates that just confidence in what they're going to do. It creates that buy-in to what they're going to do. When you're not clear, when you don't have that narrow focus on what the expectations are. So these are the expectations that will deliver our purpose. These are the behaviors. These are the results that will deliver it. When you're that clear, then people have that confidence in you and they have that overall commitment. So figure that out. Figure out what those key steps are that will deliver your purpose and maintain your narrow focus there.
Yeah, so if we haven't been clear so far, there are still a number of organizations out there that do not have a defined purpose. You need a defined purpose. Everyone on the team should be able to speak to the purpose. Literally, it should be that simple. And then once you have that, you define the metrics that equal that equal the purpose delivered, and you define the behaviors that equal that purpose. That's simplicity. It all starts coming together like you can't even imagine. So your business model will explode with those things added to it. So step one, define the purpose. Step two, define the metrics and the behaviors that equal that by role. And everything starts coming together like give me a call. It works.
Yeah.
It works every time, and it's been crazy successful for those that have used it. It isn't just about business. It works. That's the weird thing. It works everywhere we've done it, separate from business. It simply works. So that step one, step two, that's what you need.
Yeah. So what would you say step three is then?
Well, so as a leader, you need to ensure that your leadership rhythm, and when we say leadership rhythm, it's your behavior basically. And if you looked at your behavior weekly, it should be very predictable and it should reinforce the purpose and those behaviors and those metrics. It should be all about that. You're publishing the metrics that equal the purpose. You're celebrating with those teams. But also when you're with your team, your behavior equals the purpose. You're an example. You're a mentor. You're a model. It changes everything. And when you violate the purpose, you screw everything up. Don't do that. We were with a leader once who screamed about customer service, and then when he was in a retail store with us, he ignored every customer that he walked by. Not what the team needed to see. So we learned from that and became better than that. But the leadership rhythm is something that leaders need to take into account. So you've got 168 hours in a week. What are you doing with it? And how during that 168 do you repetitively give examples of the purpose and the behaviors and the metrics and so on? And how do you, during that week, celebrate purpose, celebrate those that are achieving those behaviors and exceeding those metrics? It changes everything when your behavior fully aligns. So as a leader, you need a leadership rhythm. Predictability is key.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, what you do matters. If you say something's important, but you don't model that behavior, then it's not important.
Well, let me add right there, that creates simplicity.
Yeah.
Simplicity comes when the leader's behavior is predictable and recurs over and over and over again.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, so really, I think from my perspective, the bottom line is complexity kills execution. We talked about this earlier. Leaders who simplify things, they create organizations that move faster, they're more efficient, they're more effective, and they deliver on that purpose. And I think it just streamlines everything. So, leaders out there, think about this stuff. Hopefully you took notes through this. But there's some key pieces here that you need to reflect on and look at your leadership rhythm, see where you can fit these different pieces in.
Create simplicity. It creates understanding in your team. It closes gaps. It creates great performance, great results, and it works. So it needs to be the objective of your team and, again, of new processes or new organizations, whatever you're dealing with. It simply works. So.
Yep, absolutely.
Great job, Brian. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to leave it. If anybody has questions on this stuff, feel free to reach out. Contact@gapology.org. That's contact@gapology.org. That's our email. Reach out to us on LinkedIn, social media. We're on all of the above. So anyway, we'll see you in a couple weeks. And again,
thanks, everyone.
Mark October 15th for the release of the 15th anniversary of Gapology. So.
Wow.
All right.
You don't even look 15 years old.
Yeah, right.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. All right, bye. All right, that'll do it from here. For more information on purpose or anything Gapology related, head on over to our website, gapology.org. Everybody have a fantastic week. We'll talk to you soon.